In today's video, we're going to talk about the top 3 mistakes that I see beginner herbalists make, along with the ways in which you can actually avoid those pitfalls in the first place. So, the first thing is using herbs for symptoms. So, I know you're probably thinking, isn't that when you want to use herbs when you're having symptoms? And yes, that's one way that you can use it. But I want you to get into the mindset of being more proactive. So, it's a reaction to take an herb when you're now having symptoms when something is now wrong. But what about not getting sick in the first place? I think we can all agree that we rather just not get sick. So why don't we actually do things so that we don't get sick? On a daily basis, why aren't we eating the foods that we should do or exercising or doing different things, whether it's taking herbal syrups or doing anything really to actually try not to get sick. And then we say we don't want to get sick, but we're not actually doing anything to negate that. And so with herbs, we can use them on a daily basis. We can use them to support and assist what's already going on, support our digestion, support all of the functions of the body so that all of the organs are working the way that they should, and so that you can actually get sick less, if at all. I remember literally not being sick for like 7 years or so. And so now it's harder once you have much more people in the home, children, and you have contact with outside people, whether it's going to school, going to work, or even just, going out into public places now where, hand sanitizer may not be there, the carts, there's just all different things at all different points that can lead to you being sick. So we need to be more proactive and on defense at all times. So the first mistake is using herbs in a reactionary manner. So what are some of the ways in which we can actually use these herbs more often for the people that are busy? Because I know that that's probably what you're saying. I'm just too busy. I don't have the time. It's hard enough for me to eat healthy already. All right. So the meal prepping, just as you prep all your other foods, prep your herbs as well. Washing them off and dicing them and making them ready to throw on, just like you would throw on like a salsa or a condiment or anything. Go ahead and prep those as well if you can. Prepping might look like actually making a batch of a batch of an herbal blend instead of just making one tea at a time and getting all the ingredients out. It can actually look like portioning out little tea bags, if you will. It can also just look like just adding double the spices and seeing how you like that. And it can be making tinctures and syrups and things that are going to be shelf stable that you can use over and over and over again. So it could look like many different things, but I want you to get just beyond using herbs when there's an issue, because you can use them to make sure that you have less issues in the first place, which I think we can all agree that that would be something that we want. So that segues into the next point that I want to make, and that is using herbs, but then doing the same things that led to you, being sick. So a lot of times we just sprinkle on herbs with all of the different bad habits that we have. It's so much easier to address what the root is instead of just throwing herbs on it, because your body is still going to have to work really hard. So let's say that you just often stay up later than you should, and that leads to bags under your eyes. So yeah, you can always make sure you put on cucumber mask at night, and you could maybe take something to help your kidneys out, but your kidneys are still you're still doing these things that are making your body work harder, and the herbs can help, but you would actually do more good if you address that too. So again, we're not using the herbs as a band-aid just to fix something. We want to use it holistically, use it as a part of our daily routine, as a part of our food. Let medicine, be your food. Herbs are for the healing of the nation, but also the herbs were for meat. So we got to make sure that we're not just using it as a band-aid or as a medicine, but also using it as food too. And then the next one, using Google to find herbs, or just searching benefits of insert herb here. That just doesn't work, and let me tell you. So recently, I heard someone make a recommendation about a certain herb during pregnancy. Now, I knew that herb actually had a contraindication during pregnancy for various reasons. And so I was really curious. So I just searched on the web. And what I found was copy and pasted, literally word for word, on many different blog sites about using this different herb. But nobody was talking about the contraindications. And even though it mostly was said to use it during the later parts of the pregnancy, that's not how people were actually recommending it as well. And so you run the risk when you just do a Google search for something, you really run the risk of getting faulty information. And I would say if the place that you're going to, the blog or whatever, doesn't specialize in herbs to begin with, then really take everything with a grain of salt. You have to be very careful because sometimes people hear something and they really run with it and they start marketing it as something, but you really have to be careful. The other issue with this is if you're having a symptom and you're saying herbs for this, you're really at the whim of Google. You don't know what's going to pop up. Whatever they deemed as most relevant or whatever, or most viewed is going to be up there at the top, but that might not be the herb that can actually help you. And you won't, just from reading these little, like I said, copy and pasted or things that are just regurgitated all the time, you won't really understand how the herbs work. And so whenever you see me talk about herbs, I really specify what constituent does such and such, or what action, or I explain what the herb actually does. Because the thing is, if I just say it's useful for XYZ, you're going to think that everybody that has this condition should just take this herb, and doesn't factor in who shouldn't take this. It doesn't factor in what factors led you to get XYZ. So you just have to really be much more mindful about how you select herbs. And so Googling or just, top tip of the hat or picking herbs just from this is a list of herbs, oh, I have this herb and using it, that's just so outdated. There's just so much more information and such a push now towards being holistic that you really just got to look at the big picture and stop using herbs as if they were pharmaceuticals, because it just doesn't work like that. They're so much more complicated and complex. All right, so let me know if you guys got something out of this video today. Make sure you share this video. That really helps the channel. Make sure you like all of those things. Just let me know that you want to see more content like this. I also want to point you down to below. I have links for videos that you should watch next and my beginner herbalist playlist. So if you're a beginner herbalist, you can see all the different videos that are relevant to you. I also have links to ways in which you can learn more. And I also invite you guys to follow me on Instagram, where I can have little shorter videos based on the information and the content that you guys need. All right, so that's all I have for you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.